Well, first off, Spirit came around and touched on the knees, which was very firm. Definitely could tell it was a hand, definitely. That was one thing. And I got whooshed out into the middle of the floor on my chair, and then rocking back and forth on my chair. But Spirit was touching me to let me know that I was quite secure. It wasn't frightening or anything. And then it was like almost Spirit propped its leg there and then moved the chair backwards and rocked it like that, like he was sort of like rocking it with his body. You could feel. And but still very reassuring. It was lovely. Very lovely. Yep. So that was good. That was for a while.
And we're sisters, that's why we're sitting so close.
Yes.
And my first perception was that there was more than one. You could see before they started touching, it looked like more than one figure walking around that you could see because of the tiny little bit of luminous stuff we had in the room. So figures you could see walking around first. And then, touch, and on your shoulder, and then, like both at the same time. I wasn't sitting there, Jane, but you could feel it all, man. And then they got my chair. Poor people, I'm a bit chubby. And pulled it back. And I could feel his poor muscles really straight in there. And all I could think was, gee, I hope the chair doesn't break. Wasn't worried that he'd drop me. And a pat on the shoulder and then put down again. And the lady beside me, back and round they went, tipping people around.
Yeah.
Super cool.
That was super cool. And what about the one in Spirit? In Spirit. And he had the two glow balls, and he was trying to show us the hole in the tummy. And it was like, it looked like a scar. I couldn't really make that out. Then it was, you Adam said, oh, it was like a hole in the tummy. Yeah, he was definitely drawing attention to this quite ripped six-pack body.
Because he put one ball down and just kept doing this on his tummy.
It was quite easy to look at. But there was a hole in there. And once we realised that's what he was trying to say when you pointed that out, then he was quite happy that would happen.
He acknowledged it with a bit of a bow sort of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they would come in and pick up the glow balls, hold them up in the air like this. Couldn't quite see that, not the whole face, but you could define the face. Yeah, it was very interesting. They don't wear many clothes, do they, really?
They don't need to.
No, they don't have to. No, so they don't turn up with many clothes on.
Yeah.
But that was awesome. Oh, when the table rolled over, like felt like it was so close to my foot that the wind went whoosh on my foot, and I was like, oh, I'm glad it didn't land on my toe.
Well, that would have been awful.
It's tragic.
What about towards the end of the night?
Well, towards the end of the night, I remember through the night you had to check on Gary, the medium.
I did have to go, and the zipper was not facing the front, so in the dark I sewed it on, found my way to the back of the room. The zipper was in the opposite direction to how we started it.
That is so tricky.
And all by myself I unzipped it, right up round, and I found the medium. Oopsie, cut. I found the medium side. Man, was he hot. He was so hot. Well, actually, Jimmy was talking to me, so I didn't panic that much this time because he'd just tell me where I'm supposed to be. And checked that all the cable ties were still tied because I had tied them. Missed that part before. I tied the medium in the chair with another person. And so I did check my sides are still as tight as I'd ever tied them. And the other side. And then Jimmy, he asked me to check the medium's pulse, which was seriously embarrassing because I couldn't find it. But I knew I was in the right spot to find the pulse, so because I'm pretty new to this. So his pulse just wasn't it. I just couldn't find it. I didn't really have to shift far because I knew I was on the right spot. And then Jimmy said, well, hang on a minute and we'll bring it up again. And he did. And he brought it up to a faint beat, but I could feel it, and then it went away again. And I said, I've lost it. And Jimmy said, well, wait a minute and we'll bring it up again. And they did. And then his pulse came back really, really softly. And then at the end, I went back to check him. Figured I tied the cables too tight because I couldn't feel his pulse again. But, you know, after a while, then I could feel his pulse how it should be. Yeah. It took a while. That surprised me because I didn't feel it correctly even when he sort of came back. But then I did. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, that was really good. And then Jimmy did say that they could lower the pulse down as low as anywhere between 3 to 8 pulses per minute.
It was really
They would take it down very, very low. And then they would bring that. And when he came back out again, his pulse would be a little faster than normal. Yeah, and to try it again then, and that's when you got that.
Yeah.
So they were altering that normal for him, which was amazing. That's amazing.
And do we say what else we saw? God, man, we saw so much. We saw that hand come out of the cabinet, and that was awesome. It was playing on the inside first with the light, and you could see it all happening.
The ectoplasm underneath.
Oh yeah.
Ectoplasm under the cabinet, and it was like, almost like it was something, well, I suppose it is living, like, that was almost
With a hand.
reptilian looking.
It was like the hand had the ectoplasm, and you could see the hand under there too. It was going towards the trumpet.
And snatched the trumpet in.
Oh yeah, like a kid. Oh, mighty.
That was awesome, wasn't it?
You know, that was really good.
That was really, really cool.
Oh, and then the chap that I was sitting next to called Rob. he got called. He got called if he wasn't squirming to stand right in front of the cabinet, and Jimmy got him to wiggle to line up with a zip, and then we had the zip go zip. And then a hand came out and came right over. Look, demo.
Oh, but massive. Whoa.
Like that. I thought, whoa, way cool.
But,
And there's more. And he told us what it felt like, sort of words that it came in all around. Oh my God, I was impressed. What is that?
well, that feels moist.
Yeah, and he had to describe what the hand felt like. It came out twice and it felt different.
Angelic the first time.
Yes.
So that very angelic feeling. It was really cool.
And then the second time was much warmer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Highlight.
Yeah.
And then with the hand back, and the whole team
Oh, the tent came
ran and hugged him.
Cabinet.
The cabinet.
Yeah, cool. You're hugging too.
And he was loved by the tent.
It was a spiritual thing happening.
Oh, beautiful. Mutual bonding.
Yes.
Lovely.
So we had an awesome good night. And when I stepped in, I don't know if this is relevant, when I stepped in to check the medium to untime, the whole floor was completely wet, and then I slipped in really. Didn't kill him though. He's alive.
Come on, you found his pulse.
So, yeah, great night.
Excellent.
Oh,
Thank
it was
you.
awesome night.
Awesome night.
thank
Really,
you.
totally worth
Yeah.
coming and experiencing.
Great.